Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of The Plight of Princes. Firstly, before we continue, congrats to Blue on being affiliated. Woo!
Thank you.
And where we last left off, our party had just escaped from a sewer after a swarm of vermin. These small goblin or kobold-sized individuals were rushing towards them. A swarm. Two known heroes dove into the sewers, and after an hour of them binge drinking, these individuals came back. One of them came back out covered in blood. Explained the other individual had continued on further to investigate something. The party then was present for the offering of the Maul of the Storm Queen to the Storm Queen herself, Queen Cerisa, by Sildar Hallwinter, King of Neverwinter. Feeling a bit anxious about the space and not really liking so much around, the party proceeded to travel down the ways and encountered two of the Defenders of Faerun, a legendary party of previous adventurers who had fought against the greatest threats the world had seen 19 years ago and stood atop it. This was one individual who is tied to Wittig, Narrowwind's Warforged Paladin, and everyone's favorite, a Droma Sword, a Kill Dragon Elf. And after seemingly receiving some sort of message, they both left abruptly. Another 10 to 15 minutes passed before there was just a dull thud. And dust, wind, and force kicked up around, and all the party members were flung off their feet, spinning, and they hit the ground. They don't know how long they were unconscious for. And one or two of you, blinking open your eyes briefly before falling back, see these strange, giant, metallic ships in the sky. They see scales of red and fire breathing overhead, swooping across the city. They see these humanoids in this bizarre material, metal and plate, leathers and hides that don't seem to belong to anything. These colorations are not dyes, but they're just bizarre. Not of this world. With these thin, elven almost like faces to a pointed chin and to wide, long ears. Githyanki. Something that the party must not know yet. They fall back unconscious. And you all wake up. You feel steel underneath you. You look around. Each one of you are in cages. Several individuals, several civilians are amongst you in this moment. Let's move map.
We just got it!
So,
Man.
you're finally awake.
Oh, fine. Fuck off.
Shut up back there!
Look at that.
Do you not know who that is?
Oh, over.
Brilliant.
We're just turning this into the execution with no dragon saving. I'm
We're
warning you right
literally
now.
not even 5 minutes in, and we've. Why am I by myself?
That's the thing. You wake up and you look about. Carrick isn't with you. King, you can decide which one of those is actually you.
Why
And
is
other
there,
sentences that are
Why is
said
there
to
five?
why is there 5? There should be like 4 of me at most.
Quickly
Eeny,
delete
meeny, miny,
one.
mo, catch a tiger by its toe.
That one ceases to be.
Amazing.
You all look about yourselves. You're within cages. There isn't anyone around you. A few people are already awake or stirred or bloodied. There's a Renara in your cage. There is, you're not sure which one it is, and several civilians. Cernus, there are several people with you. 2 maids are by themselves, or a maid and perhaps King, and then either King or a maid and several civilians. Posey and Wittig, there are 3 people crammed in with you. Kika, you're by yourself. What do you guys do? You can see each other, you can call out, and you can hear each other.
I'm gonna say I'm this one.
Okay.
Okay. And we don't see any guards or any.
No. You don't see any guards or anything. But I will
suppose-
say around you, not directly, maybe 300 feet one way, 400 feet another way, you hear combat. Neverwinter is not going down without a fight all around you right now.
I've taken my belongings. Have I got all my stuff?
Your weapons are not with you. Your weapons are in a pile.
So just like weapons
Right.
and shields, but everything else.
Yeah, everything else you have, but that's left.
It's by the statue in the middle, yeah?
Yes, by the statue in the middle, correct.
Okay.
I attempt to bend the bars.
Make an athletics check. Posey, you
Jeez.
get up for a moment, you're confused looking around, and you're just going, oh, what? And you just hear, ping! To the 4 bars on the front, you just smash.
I now have weapons.
I'm just reaching for my lockpicks and then I look up, I'm like, oh.
I got
mean,
it.
That works. I'm gonna go over to Kika.
Kika looks like she's on the verge of tears. Is very small and breathing very heavily and like, hey,
She is-
panic attack!
He's definitely having a panic attack. As you like rush over towards her, you just see a shadow over you, and you see 2 long, maybe 6-8 foot long wings above on the Voop. Flying down is the enormous form of a very bloodied
I suppose I would be like, here, wouldn't I? Ah.
Yeah, I would have ran out.
And-
It is a bloody
got
gith,
my
I didn't hear
weapon.
what you said.
Gregor.
You said bloody... Oh, Gregor?
He is bloodied. Yeah, it's Greg.
Oh. I'm
He's
gonna...
bloodied, and there are multiple varying colors of blood on him currently. Some is black, some is like this sickly green, and then there's a lot of crimson.
I'm gonna... Yeah, I'm gonna try and pick the lock, because that's what Posey would do.
I'm gonna run and grab all the weapons.
Yeah, you just begin running around, and Gregor looks.
I've never
you
done
got
this,
that
what do
one.
I roll?
Lockpicking will be dexterity. So
I
if you
have
have a
A
tool
set of
set,
thieves tools.
Yeah.
Then click on
if you have that, add your dexterity modifier, and you're proficient with it. Go.
Modified dex.
I just reminded to myself that not everybody knows how thieves' tools work.
Yes. Knight of 1. Balls of
7.
Not everybody plays a rogue for 4 years.
You begin picking at it, and you just hear the king of your things like snapping inside. You go to retrieve it, but the massive mitt of Gregor just reaches over. Don't worry, Kiko, I'll get you out. And you just see the lock bending in his grip, and he just poof, off the wall. So that cage is now open,
Okay.
and he's
and
not.
then
He's not responding to anyone. He's just ripping cages.
I've confirmed the location of my maids. Is Cat anywhere?
No,
Oh.
no cat.
No, my cat, as in the raven.
I know.
Yeah.
I know
You
your
didn't
cat.
think I
I'm
meant-
referring that your cat is not.
It's just you were doing the Varys's cat voice, so.
That I do that when anyone talks to their familiar. Meow, not here. Meow.
Oh, I'm
never
a
met
sassy cat.
right.
And I will describe as well as everyone is moving around. Gregor, as you've gone to get the weapons, you just gather them up. Gregor's already like bent the bars off another set, and he looks scary as fuck because his eyes look like there's cracks, like the kind of wrinkles or crow's fingers that you get in older ages. Look like they've just been filled with black, as his eyes are just entirely blackened over, and they're not clouded. It is as if an ink has dipped in. And he's got these feathered, blackened wings behind his back. as he just looks over towards you, Runara, and the maid and the other people, and just rips the cage. And Wittick, what were you saying?
I was gonna basically run around and give everybody back their weapons.
You do that as... Do you want to help rip off another cage? Because you're about...
Yeah. 17.
Okay, we'll say that you did the one with King in it. And... Serenes, you're the last one.
I'll simply say, I'll just say, thank you. I hope this isn't becoming a habit of mine.
And Serenes, he just like rips open 2 bars off. Alright. Anyone who isn't able to fight, and he just like points towards like what is currently the right side of the map, make your way to the north gate. Being fortified up, get there now. Anyone who can, and as he's like speaking, there's a moment where he's just smelling the wind. Those wings kick up, and he moves up to there, and you just see that he's you two, Posey and Kika, from this angle, see that he's drawing a blade from the greatsword from his back, and as he does, it's sinking into his shoulder and burning. It looks like it's actually quite painful as he lifts out that greatsword, and he just ignites his fire, and he just grips it, and you hear voices approaching. Oh no, you don't, you overgrown furball. You're trying to deny us our investigation. We can't be having that. And you just watch as Gregor steps forward to here, and around him currently are approaching these 5 Gith. One of which is in a heavy plated armor. 3 of them are wielding a long sword and this kind of like a chainmail set. And the one on the back has no armor, has no weapons, but there are like these heavy steel contraptions to the front of their forearms that like will go over the hand, but nothing of indication from it. And they begin trying to circle Gregor. What do you guys do?
Kika, let's go.
Let's
go.
Wait, we can
I'll
fight,
run up.
right?
First question, did the maids I'm currently standing next to actually get out of the cage?
Yes, everyone's getting out of their cages right now.
I will command them to go with the non-combatants and make sure that their safety is the first. Just tell them, don't do anything reckless, get out.
You're saying this right now as Gregor's flown over your head, and you can now see as they all go, as the one of them just mumbles out, like, which one is that again? And the one at the back just shouts out, "It doesn't matter. He's gonna die." To which you just hear Gregor looking around at the one at the back goes, "Oh, killing you is going to be such an excellent story. None of you will be alive to tell it."
I'm just gonna, if no one's running, I'm just gonna sit and ready a sacred flame, ready for when they actually start.
Yeah, I'm ready to
You
fight.
just watch as Gregor's just muscles shift. His entire body cracks and snaps. His skin breaks away into fur. And a far more familiar Gregor makes his way.
Kika, come on.
Anyone who's staying to fight, I need you to roll initiative.
I don't know if I'm intending to, but I think I'm about to end up in a battle whether I want to be in one or not.
Yeah, I think for the sake of
Yeah.
because we don't intend to fight.
I mean,
but we're right
me
there.
and Kika are literally like in it.
Don't intend to fight, but we're literally right there.
I mean, if the
Question,
fight
does
comes to me.
Does being knocked out count as a short rest by any chance?
Nope.
Sure, as but as
Right.
Wait, it was short, but I don't know if you was resting.
Oh Christ! If ever you roll out.
we're all in this together.
Look at that
Don't worry,
fucking
guys.
initiative order! What is that?
We're in this together. I need to check what the fuck my dex is. Oh, we have the same dex. It's fine.
Hey.
Come on, guys, come on, you gotta get ahead in the game.
You check there. I need to look at. Let's see the Gith commander firstly. Let's look at her. There you at?
What do I do? Do I say or do I go? I'm sorry, what is that name on that PC?
They have a name.
Wow.
Heroes.
There are not enough. There are not
Sure.
enough vowels
Paralis?
in that name.
Paralis, maybe?
Corral.
I think,
Paralis.
to be honest, it's more the title that was the
Yeah.
problem. It wasn't so much the name that made the vowel.
Rallis, and it's a silent H.
But don't worry, it's a 7, which means all of us beat him. Or her.
By one.
The rest
Yeah,
of them,
and
though,
then there's this
we have an issue.
motherfucker.
Okay, well, I get to have fun first, kiddies. Because, oh, you big, beautiful bastard, I missed you.
I guess Gregor went really high.
Yeah,
Gregor got a 19 and he's got a +3, so he's got 22.
Ooh.
Save us!
Don't worry, this 500 sack of hit points is about to help. So, actually, what he's going to do is, can he do it? No, that's his legendary action. So for now, he is just going to unload 3 attacks. 1 bite and 2 claws on the heaviest armored one, which is the one in his right, which is the only one besides Haralis with a unique icon. So let's see. Firstly, that's a bite.
The others are just secondary,
You know what? I don't need to hide his rolls anymore. He's Gregor. He's a good.
This is true. He's an ally now.
Oh my god, what a concept! I tried to kill him at least 3 times
I think
in
we
a
all
different
did.
life.
He doesn't have advantage, but his bite did hit with a 23, so that's 23 points
He
of
doesn't need it.
piercing damage. He clamps down on that first one, like it raises up their arm with their like enormous silvered greatsword in hand, and he just clamps. You guys just hear bones snap in the arm, and he just shouts, "Ah!" And fitting.
That's why we said 23. The
Technically
23
not.
was a damage roll, not an attack roll.
The 23 was the damage roll. I removed it, but he had actually a 20 on his attack roll.
Oh,
Actually, he had a 23 on his attack roll too. It was the exact same. And the Githyanki Knight is not turned into a lycanthrope. But it is now
Interesting
their
that they can.
Unfortunate for them.
But they are humanoid.
Perhaps unfortunately for us that they can.
Okay, so now it's going to
Yankee
use
werewolf sounds terrible.
now it's going to use its magical silvered greatsword on.
Ooh.
This is about to get bad really fast.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And all that is vulnerable damage.
Even
He
the
does
slash?
take half.
Oh, it's silver.
The slash.
It's a
Yeah.
The psychic isn't, but the slashing is.
Psychic is one of the, he does resist that anyway, so let's see who takes 6 from that and 6 from that, 7 from that, so that's 13, and then 25, 50. So he took 13, 50, 63. Okay. And that's it. Going to be their turn. They're actually going to try to give somebody else flanking. But at the end of their turn, Gregor is going to use a legendary reaction to bite and drag. Fortunately, he does not get the grab. No, he doesn't get the grab. That is one legendary action attempted to bite and drag a bitch, but he doesn't get it. Hey, King.
All right. I'm going to move to about here. How big are these statues?
They're as large as they are in the thing, so they're about 10 foot by 10 foot.
I mean, tall.
Oh, tall, about 20 feet.
Okay. I'm going to use Chill Touch on the one that's already injured.
Okay, that is this fellow. Go ahead. That is a hit. Nice. Roll your damage.
Not much damage, but there you go.
But hey, now
Damage is good damage.
can't regain health in any way.
Yep. And now
Nope.
I
Very important.
retake cover behind the statue.
Smart. Okay, now it's going to be the Githyanki warrior. This one is going to move to here. To try and engage you, but Gregor's going to take his reaction to try to bite him because he moved.
Munch.
So that's a lot of a chunk of this guy's health, because he has a longsword in one arm. He had another longsword in another arm, but now he's got one longsword in one arm.
And the longsword's still in the arm. The arm's just not attached.
Yep. Yep.
It's
Uh,
actually Gregor now has a secondary weapon in his mouth.
Basically.
He's become fucking Sith.
He's General Grievous. Like,
All of these are
Aw.
good comparison.
I was thinking of the dog from Dark Souls.
Yeah, Sith. I made the good
Was it
joke,
Sith?
the good Dark Soul joke.
And let's see, against you, there's going to be 2 great sword attacks made. Nope. Oh, it's meant to be a long sword, but same thing. But no, he just got his arm ripped off. He ain't doing fuck all. These
that's
two,
against me,
however,
But
yeah. That one's going to go to there, and this one is going to try and get an advantage on a flanking. So this fellow, I'm going to roll him first, and he's attacking Gregor. Nope. Yeah. Thankfully, they do not have silvered greatswords. They just have greatswords.
So the knight is the one we deal with first.
Then we left the big off creature just massacre everyone else.
Yeah.
Good plan.
Or
Yeah.
we could just leave from the get-go, and then he can kill everyone, and we can live.
Could I suggest running?
That first
My
hit-
lord and savior, running for your life.
Yeah.
That's a nasty hit on you. Yeah, that Gith warrior just runs forward and tries to lunge. So yeah, Whittick, he just got you for 16. Oof. They are not a very easy opponent to fight in melee. But hey, speaking of being in melee, it's your turn.
Yep. How do I
Ancient.
use this? That's an action. Okay. No. Okay. I will, as a bonus action. I mean, they've been hitting consistently on that. Okay. Anyway, I will fucking do. Actually, probably just heal myself. Be the best. Because
choice.
that was
Yeah, not a bad idea.
to do as an action. 2, 5 points of. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna heal myself for 10.
Mm-hmm.
That's all of my lay on hands.
Bonus action?
Bonus action, I will cast Shield of Faith.
Mm-hmm. On yourself?
Yes, and get bonus aid to AC.
What does that make your AC?
22.
22. Nice. Yeah, Warforged are tough.
Yeah.
If you can get through the armor, they're in trouble, much like Gith. Ozzy. The big scary man has turned bigger.
I look at Kika.
She's not in a good place.
Okay. Kika, you run.
Right,
I'm
then.
going to do something very stupid.
Hey!
I'm going to kind of. I'm going to draw my sword.
Oh my god!
And I'm going to kind of reach out towards the Gith that's near me and activate my sword, please.
Okay. Yeah, you guys chose like, oh, I'm gonna choose this fancy cosmetic thing. She went, nah, give me a fucking sword that has that effect. So yeah, you just watch the effect hit out. What damage type?
Oh, cold.
You just watch out as she's like aiming out towards it, and the blade just from hilt out comes a big old frost.
Okay. What am I doing?
Your best. You're moving the right way. You can get
Yes, I
flanking.
am. Yes, I am.
Stands there
Oh,
holding
God.
a sword. What do I do?
Ah!
Gregor looks over. Point that in it.
Okay. I've got flanking. God knows if I programmed the sword incorrectly.
We'll
Let's
all
go.
find out together.
6! No, 22!
No.
Because I haven't let her know the name of it yet.
What a fucking name. I love it.
It's a scimitar that's cold!
Cool. Alright. Yeah.
Oops, I accidentally rolled it again. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to do that! I've forgotten how to do everything! I meant to do that! 8 damage!
That's not bad.
Okay! I'm in!
You're in. He looks at you. Oh! And as
Kika, please go!
as he looks towards you, he's not looking at the werewolf at the end of your turn. And he's going to use his reaction to again bite and drag. It's a 27.
What?
No. Gregor's aiming at the guy you just
Oh,
stabbed.
thank God! I was like,
So
me!
You fool! I was never on your side.
The very poor Dex character has to now make a Dex check. They do not. And they are now grappled by Gregor. And hung mine. Very bad damage roll, but he is now being grappled.
Yay.
So Gregor no longer has a bite action, but he's now grappling one of them. Kika.
Ah! In character. Yeah. Screaming, but the words do sort of come through, so Kika does sort of pull herself together enough to like come out and disengage, and does sort of like panic like fly sort of here-ish behind the statue, but doesn't
Okay.
really know what else to do other than that, so she's kind of like ducked and
Panic!
hidden under there and doesn't know what to do. And just sits behind the statue going
Fair enough. It's your turn now. Freaked out
Right.
bird, big dog boy, little men with knives that are nasty.
Let's see. Gonna move.
Oh, he's being brave, kids.
ooh.
Your boy's gonna hope on the rock, strike it again.
Let's go, hobo!
Gonna cast that magic stone on my pebbles.
Are you gonna do it on your magic pebbles?
Yes.
Okay, because that's important.
Yeah, on my stones.
You fucking hit him.
Yes!
Hey, you in the back! Woof! Fuck you!
Oh my god, he has to make a strength saving throw or get knocked in his ass because you use one of your magic stones, like one of your
Oh
personal
shit!
stones.
Oh yeah!
Nope.
David Goliath
You
sort of
just
stuff
made
here.
a high commander of the Yankee Armada falling his ass over.
Fucking David and Goliath over here.
Jesus
Motherfucker.
Christ.
Hope on the rock strikes again.
God damn this hobo and his motherfucking rocks.
Who would win, an elite
all-
warrior or a hobo with a bag of rocks?
You just watch as like over Gregor. There's almost like an instinct for him to go for it. It's like, whoa. But you just watch, and you see like he's trying to prepare something. You just watch these two blades begin trying to come out of his wrist functions, and as it happens, bonk, and he just falls on his ass. And there's a moment where he's lying there going, "That just happened. I just let that happen to myself."
Yeah, I kind of
Oh, God.
imagine it was just like that whole thing of like, and oh shit, I accidentally threw that up too high. Oh no, it's still gonna hit. Oh, cool.
It's like skipping stones.
Yeah.
But with heads.
I fucking Ollie, never change, you beautiful bastard. I love you.
Beautiful.
That's all he's gonna use is this
Runara.
entire campaign. It's his magic.
Oh, sorry. Serenus, is that your turn?
That's my turn, yeah.
Runara.
Fuck's sake.
Renara!
Gonna behind the corner of my holy symbol to say a quick prayer. My hands are gonna glow red. I'm gonna run round to like hit and cast burning hands on the three that are in front of me.
Oh,
Just grab a motherfucker by the throat, just like die.
She just goes, "Wee, bitch,
So
wee." What's-
15,
Burning hands is like a flamethrower.
15
Yeah.
foot cone is a dex save.
Dex save, 10 damage. Nice. And as for each of the warriors,
That's DC 13.
13. He succeeds.
Unfortunate. Also
Half
unfortunate.
damage.
There are other numbers!
They rolled really well. Those first two got 19s.
Yes, we have one witness to these good rolls.
Yes, it's
Number
half damage.
21 is now cursed from here on out.
Yes, 5
So they only
damage.
take 5 damage, but they do all
Yes.
take 5 damage.
For some reason, the saving throw is not programmed, so I'm going to program that in.
In the meantime, is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, just testing this, ignore that. Yes, better. Yeah, that's the end of my turn.
Oh, I forgot to put him on. Hang on. I rolled for him, but I don't think I clicked his icon earlier. Give me a sec, folks. Let's see. I rolled for Gregor. Where did I roll for? Because I rolled for him, I think, for like almost first.
Yeah, he had a 7.
7. Thank you.
Yes, yeah.
Back to which for his dex score is fucking stupid. Okay. He's going to degradedly pull himself back up. Now, actually, at the end of your turn, Runara,
Mhm.
Gregor's going to lose his last legendary because he's finally grabbed somebody. The Gith Knight has to make a strength saving throw. Okay, so he succeeds, so he only takes half of this. As because he has no mouth to bite with, he just grabs both arms with his hands and begins pulling. And he takes only 11 points of not crushing,
Ripping damage.
distance relations damage. And both he and the Gith that Gregor first struck, that you guys have been pelting, look very rough. Heralis has a little bit of blood that's coming down his forehead, and looks really, really, really pissed off that just.
I got
He looks
knocked
around-
out by a rock.
Could I go up again?
He looks around, and you just watch. He just claps his hands together, and he begins shimmering, and almost like lightning, he just dashes directly up to Gregor. And just give me 1 second.
I think I'm just gonna become like. I think I'm just gonna be crushed by a giant creature.
Guys, I never thought I'd be this freaked out going into melee. Glory is gone. Glory's so gone.
So the thing you're melee with is currently occupied.
Grappled.
Me fucking dice!
I have a sword!
I don't like that he
Wait,
had, I don't like that he
wait.
had
You
to
just
get rid
watch
of
as
this.
this commander rushes up, and from both of his wrists, just out, you just see these two long blades just produce out that are maybe like 2 foot long on either side, and they just scrape off the ground as he moves. And he goes straight up to Gregor, and thankfully these are not silvered. But give me a sec, because I was going to roll them out of thingy, but now I have to put them in. So actually, I've just got the notes here, so I'm just going to roll a d20, because he can only make one. I can only make 2 attacks, 1 bonus, 1 normal. So give me a sec.
This sounds of panic.
Second attack misses Gregor.
This is bad. It's like if Gregor goes down, we know what's happening next. That's a fucking.
Yeah, no. It's
It's
like,
the circle of death.
So Gregor takes only, instead of 19, he only takes 9 points of slashing and psychic damage from the 2 blades that come out, and he just like tries to rip across the gut. But have you ever seen somebody trying to like cut through something with a really thick hide, like a bull with a rapier, like pretty much like that. Of a case of you ain't slashing worth shit on this thing. It's too tough, and it just scrapes and barely even makes like half an inch's worth of like dent before you just watch it beginning to heal. Don't worry, guys. Gregor's only on
Enough HP.
He's on enough HP.
Gregor. He's fine.
More
On
than
a
the
scale of
cumulative amount
1
of
to
time.
500.
More than the party combined.
Yeah.
415.
And doubled.
Okay, so not bad.
And then a 0 on the end.
Yeah, just for good luck.
Okay, so now it goes back to Gregor's turn. He had so much fun doing that last time. He's gonna make the bastard do it again. No.
He fails this time.
No.
You just watch as Gregor just rips him, and you just hear muffled wishbone, and that was enough.
Whoa, what is that?
The fuck?
A lot of things are happening.
This guy has a flower crown now.
Oh, that's the one you're looking for.
Ah, there it
Problem
is.
is, when you go to open that up and you push the talk down to 0, it just goes, oh,
Just
we gotta
goes
select all these characters? No, we selected them all. Let's do this. Fucking. Okay, so Gregor drops him down, and that was his first action.
Oh,
Now he's got a new
okay.
friend. And he's going to proceed to clamp down on this prick.
Oh, fuck.
I couldn't have been happier that Gregor bit this one bastard more than anyone else. He bit him back.
Oh.
Ooh, them
Oh.
some nice numbers. But
He's
he's
still
on
got one
average.
more attack action as well. But because he crit, this poor bastard has to make a dexterity save. Just makes the DC on his clamp down, so he's not grappled, but he took. So yeah, Gregor just clamped on this guy, and you just watch as the guy pulls away in 3, and like you just watch as that like gauntlet thing that he had on one hand, that gauntlet is entirely smashed from just the bite force of Gregor, who now proceeds to try and claw him with his last act. He just succeeds on that claw. Oh! If you wanted to roll high on any one of these bastards, he's doing it to the right. Oh wait, shit. I have to do something real quick first, because that could have been an advantage and an automatic crit. So the second attack was actually double damage, because Gregor broke his haste and made him stunned,
Hey!
because he hasted himself before he went in, like a dumb bitch.
Yes!
So that's 38 points of damage.
this is a dark Varys mirror.
People have a disturbing habit of trying to send people like Varys against Gregor. It does not work well.
Cast haste on myself. There's a werewolf
Fuck.
in front of you. Fuck!
I would like to cast death on myself, please.
Oh, by
That's a
the
good
way,
way to lose a head.
now that it is,
Yeah.
now that it's this guy's, now that Gregor's, he heals for 4.
Who heals for 4? Gregor?
Of course.
Just checking.
You, there's a reason you keep bragging about Nemo being one of the, or Zero being one of the greatest fucking physicians and medical people in this world. He made that. Hey, King, speaking of, in a past life, you feel a sense of pride as you just watch him tear people apart. What do you do?
It's not really past life. Zero's still alive, as far as I know.
He's just not your character.
Yeah, I'm gonna step around the corner and use Chill Touch. Probably none of these guys are injured yet, are they?
Yes, they are. The one that is between Runara and Wittig, the one that like you just had your thing pointing at him, he's the one that is the most injured. He took a claw attack from Gregor and the burning hand.
I'll Chill Touch him.
Go ahead. No, misses the very heavily armored warrior. They didn't just send in a bunch of mooks, needless.
The ghostly claw just sort of comes out and just tries to grab, but doesn't get its.
It's like stab
purchase.
it. It's more like the hand just goes stab. That's gonna
back
be the,
behind the cover.
Up, fucking caresses him.
now it's going to be the Git's turn. Seeing their commander is now in a lot of danger. They're going to attempt to grapple Gregor and pin him. Actually, no.
somebody gets a
Gregor would have
reaction
gotten
then.
one more. Excuse me. Gregor would have gotten one legendary action after your turn, so he'd absolutely take it. He's definitely going to bite at that bastard again. And an A. So they realize that their commander is in danger and just rush. And as they do, Posey and Wittig, you just see a smear of red as Gregor leans down again. And the body falls.
Oh yeah, 'cause you got red.
Okay, that's efficient.
And you just watch as a column of ethereal arcane light rushes down. And the body is jettisoned. It is gone somewhere above. Gregor even like looks into his mouth and there's no head in there. It's like, huh? Bullshit. So now the Gith are going to stab the... Well, congratulations, Morales. You're one of my greatest commanders and you got slapped. To redact that, their commander and their sergeant, they're running. They just book it. So Gregor,
Attack.
Runara, and Wittig, you all get attacks of opportunity.
Sure.
I'm gonna do it two-handed.
Hit.
2 damage.
You guys just like Runara, you smash one with the mace, the one that was a little bit injured, and as he like tries to run him past. You ever see that scene from The Simpsons where they were showing off an American footballer who gets their head caught and just snapped? That. Gregor just grabs the guy around the face and just a muffle before you're. The other two though? This guy, however, is fucking dead. And that ends combat. For now.
I'm looking around to see if everyone's alive.
There's another like bone crunching sound as Gregor now swaps back from this form to his human form. Well, humanish form.
Shit.
Oh god.
Everyone okay?
There are several holes in Gregor
I think
that are
we're
just
right.
slowly closing. Welcome to the last hour of my life. Now let's go.
Oh,
On
where?
the way out, I pick up sword.
Pick
Where are
up
we
what?
going?
I pick up the silver great sword.
Noted.
Not using it on you.
I was hoping you would. I'll quickly check this other gift corpse just to see if there's anything important. or useful.
You can't resist it.
There
can
was
you?
no body left.
Dude.
There was no body left from the commander Horalis, but the other two make an investigation check real quick. I'll say you have advantage because Wittig's also like strumming through.
Nice. That'll be
For
useful.
him, it's easy enough for him to find, but he's looking at it while you're looking at it.
I assume all the non-combatants have already buggered off.
They have fucked off. They're gone.
Excellent.
Mate, assemble.
No,
Um,
they're gone.
What you do is,
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
just say
that's
this
right,
real
right.
quick. Runara.
Okay.
You search through and you find a tuning fork. A
Oh.
silvered tuning fork.
Oh.
Which you're looking at curiously, and you just watch it goes. "Vroom, vroom, vroom, vroom." Somewhere towards the north side, it's just doing off a. "Vroom, vroom."
Okay.
Would Kika know what that's for?
Actually, I was about to say, because Roman has
Because
plate
family.
ship.
Because family.
Make an Arcana check, both of you. It's gonna be a high DC.
17.
Nope.
I'm sorry, a hand appeared in front of my face.
Sorry, me and Spook were having a visual conversation.
Ooh, 20.
Bitch, I said that DC. You are aware tuning forks can be used from your own experiences for cross-planar travel, but as you look up into the sky, there are rifts in the sky of Faerun. You don't think they came in with those tuning forks, but tuning forks can be focused to try and locate unique things on planes.
You should
I
hang
swear
on
to
to
God,
that.
if
Yeah, I'll hold on to this.
They have no money on them, and aside from their armor, which you don't have time to take off, that is
No.
definitely not fitted for somebody of your size. You guys have to.
Same.
Time to go.
Gregor looks to all of you, and he just like moves to the front, and I'm going to move you guys back over to here now.
Hello, Raid. Mwah.
Oh, another raid? Oh.
7 people, not as many, don't worry.
We're running away.
Raid!
We're
We're
bravely
We're
running
retreating to the
away.
rear. I mean,
They're not
we're
bravely
advancing
running
to the
away.
rear.
The enemy ran away first. So, let me continue then. Carlos, you're muted.
we're not really running away if they're coming from the sky. We're just kind of perpendicular.
Perpendicularly advancing.
Yeah.
So as you perpendicularly advance throughout, which by the way, as you guys are like making your way through and you're watching through the streets, there is chaos. Vermin have risen up from underneath, and they are just slashing, stabbing, biting at guards and anyone. There's like small pockets as you guys move, and as Gregor like makes a pass towards like one or two of them, like there's a few dwarves that are like gathered up like from armored ones. They just were holding in defense. The moment they see him, they smash through and they just get a bunch of civilians. And it seems like Gregor is serving as more of a get towards the big scary thing. And you guys are watching as well as you're traveling. The wounds he's already accumulated are very quickly healing now that he's not directly in combat. And as you guys are running, there's like a very long, narrow way. So let's just say currently you guys are here. I'm just going to point to the little X we were using before. And I'm going to move you to here. As you guys are moving, you see that there's a sky ship above you that's currently firing down on civilians. And as you're looking in that panic, you can see some of the guns are turning to you until you hear a roar and a red dragon falls. And I don't mean descends, is collapsing and slams down to the ground. And all the guns in that ship stop and aim upwards. Boom, 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 boom. And you can just see a red dot. A red beacon just coming. And almost like the wail of a banshee. Slamming through one side to another. These enormous leathered wings. A wide, large staff in a hand. The horns are like a crown pointed backwards with a flame to the center. This is the most
bullshit
anime.
is this?
This is the most anime equivalent you've seen Legacy ever be in, but this is Legacy literally going, fuck this.
That damn she got cooler when I was no longer associated with that.
No, she was this cool when you were associated with her. She just did this to Zalto while you weren't
No, I
looking.
meant me out of character.
And you just watch as she's like floating above, and you just watch as she just like claws into the air. And you can just see a rift opening and just water pouring out of it. Out comes the devil of the sea. Her ship, which she immediately gets up into. And
Full Peter Panning this.
No, she's going
She's
full
full-
Jaina.
she took
I have
Jaina.
arrived!
She took Jaina and Peter Pan and went, I could make it cooler, because I could make hell rifts. So,
I'm just gonna grab Kika's arm and just be like, we need to get out of here.
as you hear Gregor shouting out, as some people begin freaking, As hard as that sounds, that's a good one.
That doesn't matter. We need to get out of here.
As you guys are moving, you guys he
Anywhere.
just like motions you to keep following him. As you guys are moving through the streets, you just hear, like almost like the ground shakes underneath you for a moment as you're moving, and as you do, at the end of like a T-junction, you just hear as a large giant just collapses down, their skull caved in. This is a cloud giant, and you just watch as standing over them is, using an enormous maul, titanic in her size, the queen of the storm giants, Sarisa, has just brained one, and looks towards all, and just looks towards all of you. Her eyes are crackling with thunder, and lightning is just pouring from her. And in this moment, Widdick, she's pretty much an avatar of Stromas on the battlefield, and it's fucking scary.
God, yes!
What's up? That's me.
I am affiliated.
I'm affiliated with you!
I associate with you.
As you guys look, it's like, okay, good, we need you to, and you just hear, whoa, to the skies, and you just see a dragon. A very large red dragon. You just watch as she looks up, looks down to you, and extends out a hand. And you can just see, apparating into the air, enormous reins on an enormous bird. As she grips it into seat, as she uses a fine steed to summon her rock mount. And this 100-foot wide wingspan bird flies up, Queen of the Storm Giants on its back, recreating so many old wars. And she's gonna go fucking fight Cloth for a bit while you guys keep running.
To say,
Has anyone got a way to get out of the city quicker?
Gregor is pointing to yeah, ain't none of you bitches can teleport, and I've got the mundane bastards with
Yeah.
Nah.
you. Gregor keeps
We'll be
pointing. You're getting
fine.
closer.
keep going.
Where are we? Like, how close are we
It's
to
the X.
like an exit to the city?
Give you an idea. Gregor trying to get you here.
Do that one more
We're trying
time.
to get here.
Oh, we're up
And
north.
we're here.
Okay.
Up north.
Okay.
You're
Cool.
not
Cool.
And for a moment now, folks, it's going to be a bit more no maps, but more somatic. So theater of the mind this for me. You guys make your way, and there's already small wooden barricades set up everywhere. And immediately seeing you guys approaching, like two of them get pushed out of the way, and guards motion you in. Everyone runs in, and floating above all of the people right now, enormous white-winged a tiefling. Red, like a dark red skinned tiefling with enormous wings, with a helmet that's covering all but one eye socket, and a beautiful ornate spear in one hand and a massive aegis of a shield on the other one, just looking about and giving orders amongst guards and soldiers and anything that's nearby. Around you, in this moment, are you still, Runara, have you still got your tuning fork out?
It would have been in my bag.
Okay. Noted. Around you guys as well, there is currently you can just see shouting out words of power and oaths and vengeances to be wrought is Prince Durin Ashbrand, surrounded by his guards, no longer on the throne that he was on, but surrounded by his guards, and anyone who is remotely injured, or anyone who is even injured at all, being within 30 feet of him, you automatically heal 6 hit points per turn. So anyone who's hurt, whoop, you back up. And as this is happening, and there's this chaos around you all right now, you just hear, Kika! Kika! And you just see rushing down is Puffalos, rushing towards you, Kika. He's got this streak of blue that's coming down from the side of his face. Hey. Oh my god, you're thinking? And he just like runs and just grabs it. Just doesn't even say, he just grabs. He loses his words.
Puff, you're okay. You're okay.
Debatable, but kind of.
You're here, though. You're here, and it's okay. And what is happening? Where is everyone?
A bomb went off. It said everyone flying. Scattered around a lot of people. everyone's trying to like get back to one point and get organized. And
Where's Kaya? Where's Mum and Dad?
I haven't been able to keep up where I am. I don't know where they are.
Puff!
I saw them after the bomb. I know they're at least still alive.
Puff, where's my family?
I don't know. I got told to stay here. For some reason, they're trying to 4 or 5 of them tried to grab me and drag me away from everything. I don't know why.
They put us in
I got told
cages.
specifically to stay here. And he just looks up. He just looks up. Lady Faith! And she just like looks down, like is like literally just like the one side of the face that looks down that has the eye to it. Can you see anyone belonging to Kika? Can you see any of the defenders? And you just watch as there's this moment where she's just like looking out, and she's very high up in the air. She's maybe like 60 odd feet in the air. He's having to cup his hands and shout over the chaos of battle. And as she does, she looks out. They're preoccupied, but they're alive. They're all alive. But we're fighting a war here, and we can't have children here. Pufflos, I need you to get them out of the city. And he begins trying to bait, and she goes, "That's an or." And as she's saying that, a single green beam strikes into her and knocks her into the wall. The gate, she hits it with such force, it collapses. And you see, coming up now from floating on a disc, as well with several other individuals, an enormous muscular Gith is one. The warrior that Gregor just killed is one.
Not
And-
this bullshit again!
And a female Githyanki as well, who each one of them seems to be wielding different variants. The male, the muscular one, is wielding 2 large silvered great axes, and the female is seeming to have no weapons at all, very simple garments. But in the center, where they're all like essentially around like a 3-prong, is an ancient Githyanki. Her skin is sagged, and she looks immeasurably old. Just get my own visual reference to be sure. She looks about to all of you as you're all talking. There's this enormous black ornate crown that reaches up into red rubies on the spires. These silvered pendants, or silvered lobes, are just presented within the crown on all sides. A long, like, collared cloak with a green pendant to the center, a green gem. Heavily, like, armored to a degree is Ancient One. She's the only one who's sat currently. It's like an ornate throne for her that is atop hers. And you can just see, much like what you have, Runara, a tuning fork in the largest Gith's hand. His points towards Durin. And points towards Puffalos. And she just motions her hand forward. As she motions and her warriors rush forward, a building breaks through to the other side, and you just see an enormous, bloodied, violently angry frost giant wielding 2 enormous axes. He just slams into the people atop the discs, and they're not on the ground, they're not grounded anywhere. The momentum sends them flying as he just begins breathing frost on the last one and roaring out. You hear the rubble behind you moving, and you just hear as the rubble just begins lifting, and there standing is Faith's using her war horn, and it bellows out over.
I think he cut.
You've lagged and cut
He's
out.
dead. The Valkyries killed him.
Am I?
You went
No,
up
I'm still
real
here.
slow.
Don't cut out!
Right. You went real slow and couldn't hear you.
Right, what was the last thing?
She blew the
Horn.
war horn
Face horn.
and
Horn.
Bates' horn rung out, and it sounded like it rung out across the entire city.
you cut out again.
It could have rang out.
I heard it.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard it.
I
a
as
bit.
well.
It's like going
All good?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
As that's happening, this one individual is there to the back, and she's just seeming really frustrated at this point. And as she's there, Harshnag lifts up his axes and just begins slamming them together above his head like there's an enormous spark. 1 spark. 2 sparks. And it's not sparks of fire. It's sparks of a rainbow, or like a prismatic effect. And with the final one, he slams them together. And as that happens, a prism appears. Vroom, 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 and it begins spinning. Vroom, vroom, vroom. You begin hearing a banshee's wail as Legacy, without her ship, begins rushing forward. You begin seeing vines erupting from the ground nearby as the shopkeeper's true form is not a happy lady. And
Queen.
you just begin
That's how we
hearing,
know this shit's real.
you hear Samoshi begin shouting out aloud. And he on his chariot is charging as well, but she just like snaps her fingers. And there's a moment where you'll pause, and you come back to your senses as you hear whoosh, and she's holding a magic lamp. She puts it in her pocket, and Samoshi's chariot falls. But before you, like between you and this individual on one side, is a woman of a darkened skin with beautiful long hair, vibrant, almost like fluorescent in color, with these immaculate, pristine white robes, floating in the air barefooted. To one side of her, on the far side, like treated as a triangle around the one individual in the center, is Legacy, fully demonically unleashed. And then there is the shopkeeper in all her beautifully terrifying form to one side, and they all look towards her and begin just aiming out. Nothing but pure prismatic light from the Lady of Waterdeep.
Yeah.
Legacy unleashes utter hellfire, and the raw, chaotic energy of the Fae from the shopkeeper slamming as one on a barrier around her, as she's just raising up a hand, and there's an intense concentration on her face as she does this. As this chaos is happening, Gregor has changed back, and there is a moment where you're all thinking that they've got to have this.
But they don't.
And then the barrier expels outward, and she just touches her staff, and all 3 of them fall, delit. Anyone's magic effects drop, as around you now, all on all sides, is nothing but 100 Githyanki warriors. Gregor has the sword in his werewolf form out. Faith is standing atop rubble, bloodied and shield and spear out. Harshnag is looking around, and she just looks towards the lamp. And it's weird, she's the only one not fallen. She's the only one that seems to be immune to this effect. And she just says 2 words. I wish. And you blink, and there's nothing but white light around you all. And in that moment, you begin pulling yourselves up. You can smell dimmed fire around you all. You look about, you're still in Everwinter. But the Githyanki are gone. Puffalos is gone. Jiren is gone. Samoshi is nowhere to be seen. And we're going to take a break.
No!
What?
No!
Bro.
Let's just clarify one thing. It was the gift lady that used the wish, right? Or was
The
that
Gith lady, who I will now give
who
you
was the one that had the lamp?
Oh,
Oh, I thought you meant Faith used the fucking wish.
No, no, no.
Black kid.
Don't you smile at me, you bastard!
He knows exactly who she is.
Yeah, I know!
Is it going well?
Shut up!
Get out of here, Spook!
We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen! And we're back. And we're screaming. And we're not entirely sure what's going
Welcome
on.
back. As you guys look about yourselves, you see... No, girls. You see, the magic resurged back into everyone about you. You're pulling yourselves up in a daze just from a bright flash of light. And there is rain over Neverwinter. Smoke rises from plumes across the city. There are no more rifts in the sky. There are no chitinous vermin scampering about the streets. There is quiet. Aside from the little weeps that you hear from civilians, from townsfolk, from everyone looking about in confusion. The large tiefling woman that you saw earlier in the streets, flying about, blasting against this strange, otherworldly entity. Steam is just erupting from her skin. Just from rain touching, just tss, tss. Tears are down her face as she's just looking frantically through the streets, flying through the air. The Lady of Waterdeep is currently in Harshnag's hands, as he just lowers her back to the ground, and as her feet touch it, just an aura emits from it, and her exhausted state is nullified as she touches back to Faerun. She breathes in, and she looks about. Her eyes are like if you were to look to a star of just pure white. Cresting about her head are 7 or so stars, just dots, small dots about her head. As you just see rubble moving, and pushing her way out is a being you know very well, Kika. Pavlos's mother. She pushes rubble off of herself. She is in a radiant form, but there is blood, crimson, down the side of her face. She pulls herself out. She looks about. As she does, she begins looking immediately and already trips over herself as she does, losing her balance, pulling herself back out. She looks about, sees to you. Kika, where's my boy?
Kika just runs up to her and just hugs her desperately.
She just pulls you in, and she is a tall woman. She's a lithoform like this. She just holds you. Where's my baby boy? Where is he?
I don't know.
She used him, oh she took my darling. And she just holds you tight. You were very brave. And she just grabs to either side of your head. I need to find where everyone is. And she just looks you dead to the eye. Please, I need to find where everyone is. I need to find out what's happened. You can help me so much by staying here right now and asking anyone who comes to stay here too, please. Can you do that for me?
Do you have to go? I don't want anyone else to go.
I will. I am always with you, child. You know that. I need you to stay here, please. Just for a moment. She looks about. General Faith, please, keep with these ones. And the war cleric, pulling herself out of the rubble, looks towards... This is a woman who is definitely not used to getting ordered anymore. But she just looks towards... And the helmet has been knocked off of her head. and you can see that there's just one massively marred eye that can't be viewed through anymore, but one perfectly visible eye that she has to her face. Okay, go. I'll keep them here. And as this is happening, more civilians make their way here, but between the guards and between Faith, they're organized, they're all kept in place. As you look around, limping through the streets, nothing with him, you see Sildar. Bloodied, shoulder dislocated. As he makes his way towards you guys, Kika, he reaches out to you. Sildar falls dead. Behind him is Nezanar with 2 arrows drawn and dropped. As the form on the ground, you look in horror as the form on the ground warps and changes into another figure. A greyed humanoid with a large bulbous head, no mouth to the face or eyes. And you just see Nezanar begins limping. There is only one blade currently that he just has, as he was holding it by the hilt as he drew. He's just dragging himself forward. Anyone got a healing potion? Or an arm they're not using? He just kind of collapses into Gregor's arms as Gregor pulls him in. The fuck? What? Shut up, you big face. I just got back from the castle ruins. Sildar is there. So that's definitely not Sildar. Clearly I made the right call. It's not the first one. 2 other bastards were pretending to be him. 2 other bastards. One did this, and he just like lifts to his side there, and there's a massive gaping wound on his side. It seems like they had more help than I thought they did.
I'll walk up, say, it's not much, but I can at least cure a little bit of your wounds.
Okay, wait a second. Okay. You just like heal, and you just watch like most of the major parts of that wound just like begin closing up. Phew. Oh. What happened here? Are there any defenders here? And he's just looking back to any of you. Literally, he's just like in a daze, looking at.
Durin was here.
Who else? Was anyone else?
Of defenders of Faerun? No, it was just Durin.
What about princes? Any other princes?
Puff was here.
Oh, my darling, I'm so sorry. No one went through with them, did they?
I don't know.
The magic was weird. It rippled out. They grabbed fortune and audacity. They grabbed them and they dragged them through portals, and the defenders followed straight through. Sildar was being attacked by a dragon, so I had to stay with him. Oh, I'm out of commission for a bit. Yeah. Oh, I can feel that one. That's a rib that's about 2 inches too high. And he just like looks up, and he's just pain is racked in his face. Your healing did help, but he went from a case of bleeding out to stabilized, but in fucking, he looks like reheated shit right now.
Right.
Okay. Who's still around? He just like, looks up, and he's got Gregor currently holding him, and he looks around and to Faith, and okay. He just pulls himself up on, and Faith has made his way over. Where's my father? He's alive. The bomb, it wasn't meant to blow up people. It was just meant to knock everyone about. That's all. They wanted people alive. I think. They broke open the prison. They took away a lot of things. They took away a lot of real things. Real weird things that should have stayed locked away for a long time. The castle's destroyed. Neverwinter is broken. But its most important asset is still alive. It's people. And like there's a lot of people gathered around now listening in, civilians and otherwise. Its brave people are still here. Look at you. You just took a gift attack and you're all still standing. A bunch of tough little bastards. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Walls and stone don't make families and houses. Your king taught me that. People do. People matter. And people can change the world. Now, if you don't mind, can somebody help me up and lie me in a bed? And he just gets lifted by Gregor. Should I just start calling you anyone then? And as he says, as Gregor just lifts him off to go find somewhere for him to lie down.
So we
You
have
guys
to stay here.
look about yourselves as this is happening. What do you?
I don't know what we do now. Do we stay and try and help the people rebuild, or do we? Don't know. Druin's gone. I don't know what. What are we supposed to do?
I have to stay. She told me to stay. So.
I'll grab my blanket out of my bag, put it over Kika, and I will stay with you.
She cuddles up to him.
Every campaign you're BFFs and it's so endearing. Every campaign, you just can't help but love it.
Everyone is friends but blue.
That is true, even my villains.
Are we just like out in the street?
You're out in the middle of like, there's essentially like a T-junction. Like from left and right roads and like one central road that leads to the gate. The gate is now rubble.
We cannot wait around here. What if the Gith come back and attack? Are we just going to let that happen?
There's not a lot we can do about them. If they want to come back, we can't stop them.
But we can't just wait around for them to attack again. What if they have more forces? Look around us. The castle's destroyed. The gates everywhere. This is not a good place to defend from. There's nothing we can do from here.
Winter was one of the best places to defend from. There's nowhere better.
It was. That was before.
There's nowhere better to go.
Well, I mean, they came.
By getting into cover.
I mean, they came from the sky. We could go back to Felbar or Gonal Grim. Underground might be a bit of.
I'm staying. I was told to stay.
You can't though. We can't.
Doesn't matter.
Too easy to be attacked around here.
The people are staying. We should stay and help the people, I think.
I agree.
As there's meant to be rain about you, but you look up and you begin hearing the ting, 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 as you look around, and there's just a energy. Prismatically, just every time there's a touch, there's a little bit of a ripple of color. Centered on the lady, but wide enough to go about 100 feet about on all sides, on a radius.
Then we might be safe for a moment.
I really think we should stay. The people need anyone right now.
I am
My
not the
own
person to
people
stay.
are among them. I will have to find the triplets before I do anything.
Oh yes, where are your others?
An excellent question.
Because I run off with some villagers when they fled. Hopefully they'll be safe somewhere.
It takes about 10 or 15 minutes of waiting here, but eventually the triplets do eventually show up. As you guys are like all grouped up and cuddled together, you hear again a sound you haven't heard for a while, but since the morning you heard cawing out in the sky. Swooping down, you see a griffin. A large griffin. But now only two large ravens with men on the backs of behind it. The old grizzled warrior and the true king, Sildar, pulls off. All of those were appropriate reactions to Sildar, by the way. I'm not going to say this right now.
Dab at the mention of your king.
His sons did.
Disrespectful.
His sons dabbed, and they said,
Salute, damn it!
He's not my king.
Salute, dab, same thing.
No,
You're
maybe.
gonna dab it during our friend.
How do we know that saluting is like done that?
Durin
Maybe
isn't a
saluting
king,
is a
number
dab
one.
in this world. Who knows?
no, it's not a dab in this world. It's more a case of audacity and fortune always dabbed at their king and insisted, all may dab at our father.
Yeah, Runara is
There you
not from
go.
the 10 towns, so...
And living up to the family tradition, Kika just goes, "Ah, Kronos, you're okay."
The bird has survived.
Kronos is the only one that matters in this cruel and unforgiving world.
You can see that there are definitely chunks of red in Kronos' mouth and on his claws that aren't his.
Good boy.
Oh, he's a good boy.
There's definitely there's definitely now a half-blinded cloth somewhere in the world who doesn't like him very much.
Yes, my boy!
Doing what we
griffin
always
fighting a
should do.
red
Good
dragon.
scritches.
Kronos would fucking do it.
Then, very slowly afterwards, there was another figure in the sky, but it was a distance away in the clouds, falling down into an alley. But outcoming then is a very large, burly Arakok. Looks about and just begins rushing over. And rushing over, but then falls on himself and begins pulling himself back up again.
Kika's already there.
Just whoomp!
Just
He is
buries-
drenched, you are dry.
She just buries her face.
I
in
can
his
only
feathers.
imagine when the holding the mic is just like, it's okay, Kika. I'll just stay here with Kika. Oh, okay.
Just like her mother.
There was a bird in the cover here in a second ago.
Yeah,
Oh,
she just
there.
buries her face.
Anyone who's a
in his
pet owner
feathers.
knows that that usually happens.
Well, I thought
So,
you
like,
gone, I
There
thought
was somebody
I
here
lost
first.
Hey, oh, things got crazy. There were dragons everywhere. There were little yellow men that were really, really irritating. My dad kicked a lot of ass.
you. I was so
Um,
worried.
Things got crazy, and they told me to go find you, and they started running into one of those big rifts, and I almost went with them, but they said to go with you, so... Ta-da! And he just hugs you, just holds you. As this is happening, eventually, the shopkeeper makes her way back. As does Legacy. And anyone else who made their way out of field. Around the Lady of Waterdeep. Sildar speaks to her. My lady, please tell me that you have any answer to what happened today. In your infinite wisdom, do you know what this was, who they were, why they did this? She begins speaking. The why, I do not know. The how is forbidden magic. That should not be possible anymore. By all accounts in the realms of this universe, magic of that power should not be accessible to any, not even the gods. And yet she somehow managed to collect it for herself. I have heard a rumor or 5 of that one. I believe she is the one who rules over the Githyanki. Her name is Vlakith. She has dabbled in many foul and abhorrent sorceries to keep herself alive, more than any mortal being should ever have the right to. I did not believe her this powerful, but it appears that this has been a long planned event on her part. But for now, we must figure out what else they were doing. For it was not just here they attacked. They struck Waterdeep. But I was there, and it went as poorly as you expect for them. As you begin speaking and, like, say, some of you look towards her, there's a moment of, like, almost etherealness to her, like she's projecting herself here. I cannot leave my city, but I gave what I could to you. I believe that they have made attacks on multiple cities to varying degrees of success. It seems Neverwinter was the one that they have struck the hardest and sought the most from. They've captured multiple people, but of note, several individuals who hold title Prince. Why they have done this, I do not know. Perhaps they will use them as bargaining chips. Several of them have bloodlines to great kings, other planes, or far, far more dark things that no one should deal with. I cannot offer much more, for I know not. But any of your people, any of your civilians that require aid, send them to Waterdeep. You have always got more homes, whilst Neverwinter rebuilds. And any aid that I can provide you, consider it done. Silda Hallwinter. And with that, she foots and disappears away.
Runara,
Uh-huh.
can I see that tuning fork?
Yeah. I'll put it out of my bag and just pass it over to...
Is it humming at all?
Currently,
Oh.
Okay.
I drank all my tea.
So that was.
This truly is the worst day ever.
Just went for someone's like, oh.
So the tuning forks were tuned for princes, I guess.
And they found what they were looking
It
for.
sounds like it. It looks like she pointed one and it went towards Durin and...
Puff.
Yeah, that one. Puff.
you just watch as like she just reaches out and just like two fingers just picks it off of you, Wittig. Looks towards it. And her eyes just begin flashing with magic.
Excuse me, that was mine.
You know what?
That was the finisher
Ma'am,
You know what?
ma'am,
Actually.
ma'am, ma'am.
She's speaking to the manager.
I was supposed to make that joke. Curse you, plaster.
Jeez.
She
Damn it,
is
Karen.
looking towards it. It is not of this realm. This metal. How they can discern it to locate certain individuals, I know not, but... Do you know anything, my dear? And she just hands it over. Let me look, dearie. She just... focuses for this moment. The shopkeeper. It's used for fate. A particular destiny. That's what it's for. To locate something of a particular destiny. But it's not the only of this metal on this plane. There are others of this metal in Faerun. I could feel it. I could feel it. My time in Faerun, I've spent too much time here already. I am defying a great deal by even remaining this long. Damn Damn it. I think I know where there might be one of these close by. But I need people to do it for me. I can't. And there's enough people here who are too busy rebuilding. Your city needs you here above all else, dear Legacy. Same with your daughter. They need you here.
You said you wanted me to help. I'll help.
She just looks down towards you. Would you be willing to do this for me, child?
If it means I can see my mum and dad again.
I don't know if it will help to that, but it will help me, and it will help others begin trying to locate elements of this. This is the only lead we might have. Go to the Tree of Thunder. In the remnants of a fang of venom, I believe that is where you will find it.
Okay. Okay.
You're being very brave, my dearie.
Legacy, I don't feel so good.
Stop it!
Disintegration ray.
Be gone!
Disintegration ray. Oh god, we can banish Narrowin's character now, he can't banish us.
The reversal evacuated my trap card.
The first time you don't
Mirror wall.
the banisher. The only way he banishes now is by smiting. Well, I did remove them from this material plane. Just entirely.
My.
So, make your way towards the Neverwinter Forest and find your way to the Tree of Thunder, and from there you might be able to learn more of the situation. I have a feeling in my heart the Gith are a field in this world. I don't know not why they search for anything else. They've claimed their most dangerous prize first. Used all their forces, but now they are spread. I feel this in my heart. Remember everything you were told, children, my dearies. Good luck. You can rest here, of course. Rest. Sleep. And in your mornings, rise up from these ruins to your future. And do so with my blessing. I don't think there's much that can be offered to you here from the city. Any potions they have are going to be used for healing those who need it more. But that could be the most important thing for now. As you guys are there with her, Faith looks towards you and steps up. If you're going to be going that way, you could do me a favor and stop in at Helm's Hold. Helm's Hold has a cavalry force, a knight force that will be incredibly useful to help fortify the city. Though they are zealots of Helm, and have had to have several visits from Nezanar, they will abide by their general's command whether they like it or not. And she just takes a moment, steps off into like a dry space, takes off the helmet, takes off the gauntlets, anything that could drip, and takes out a piece of parchment, begins writing on it, before putting a signet ring of wax on, and she hands it to Wittek. That is Hallwinter's seal, and the seal of Neverwinter. bring it to the commander of Helm's Hold, whichever one they haven't executed yet for their own heresies. They're zealots, so don't antagonize them. But a bunch of heavily armored, very dangerous men is the exact thing I need right now. So please go. Do first what she has suggested, and then, if you can, please make your way down.
Okay.
I don't know what. This is madness. And she just steps away. Kairk looks around. It's like skitterish and nervous. And there's a moment where the shopkeeper is speaking to him, and he just like shakes his head and steps away. No. She needs me with her. I'm gonna be able to help you. She needs you with her. I'm staying with her. I'm staying with my sister. You can't change that, and no one can change that. She just gives him a little like brush atop the top of the head, down to the beak. Nods as she steps away. Now it's you guys. The water returning now that the apparition of the Lady of Waterdeep passed. Harshnag sits the fuck down, opens up an enormous, like for you guys normal, but for him, an average sized keg that is pretty much just more like a mug for him at his side. Pops in a large cork off the side of it and goes, well, this sucks. But to my account, the worst thing that's happened is a capturing. And if the defenders are involved, I may as well put up my feet and wait for one of them to message me.
Really? That's your answer?
They eventually do. I eventually get turned into a mouse. I eventually get thrown at somebody, and then I turn to my real form and start hitting. It works out great.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's a
You'd
lot.
be surprised how many times the mouse trick has actually worked, by the way. They once threw me at a dragon. Like 5 years ago, they threw me at a dragon.
Heroes are idiots.
And, well, when you think about it, my size in any dragon, just space takes up a thing and works great.
Quick question: is Harsnag the only giant that we can see right now?
Currently, yes.
Okay.
If there are other giants, they might be about the city.
And roughly what time of day is it?
Oh, at this point, yeah.
Is there time?
Is time even real at this point?
Does the
There are
concept
like
of the
300
sun
feet of
exist?
It's about 8 o'clock at night right now.
I...
We should find somewhere to rest.
Yeah.
Wait, come back.
Fine.
I'll follow.
Everyone begins following Posey.
Why are you following me?
Posey, do you know where we can rest? You seem to
I
know,
had a house?
you seem to know you got a house? Can we stay there?
Had.
Had.
Whether or not it's there,
Might still be there.
we don't know.
Is there any rubble on that side of the street somewhere that I could duck into?
There's a lot of damaged spaces, and a lot of it's being used by civilians right now who are huddling together. And there's maybe 1 or 2 arcanists about that are just drying people off, setting up fires, making people comfortable in spaces they can. And currently, soldiers are running about getting supplies and bandages and setting up some loose barricades and everything like that to just provide some defense.
Yeah,
How are you all so calm?
This isn't calm. Don't mistake this
Do
for
not
calm.
mistake my demeanor for each.
We should. If you had a house here, we should make sure if it's still standing.
I suppose. Yes, I suppose, why not? Is it safe to go beyond... Is that still there?
No, it's gone.
Okay.
It's gone.
Fuck it, no, we're safe.
Yeah, no.
That's how
Nope.
far is it to where I questionably live?
Probably about an hour and a half.
Oh,
Then you
too
have
far.
to. Here's the thing. It's all well and good. You have to move around a bombshell to get to it.
Yeah.
Is
There
the
you
local
go.
bus still running?
Good
Give an
point.
idea, Posey. You live over
Live.
here by the docks. You live over here by the docks.
Ah,
Give you an idea.
yeah, that makes sense.
So you have to. If you
Yeah,
want to go.
I see the multiple problems with that. Yes.
Yeah.
Bit of a-
Basically, there's like a small space here that you can make maybe across this bridge and over.
Yeah,
Fucking
that's...
swim. Let the current take you. It'll be easier.
Okay, so
Actually,
let's find some
Dan,
stuff.
that's supposed to be like, is that just constantly on fire, or is it just a
I
giant
think
pit?
it's a crater.
That's just a crater.
It's a
Okay,
hole.
I didn't know if it was like, if like in the crater there was actually like fire and things
like,
like
it's
that.
basically
Give you an idea.
all of fire.
That's where that's where the castle used to be.
And now there is a hole.
Got
Now
it.
there's that.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that Neverwinter has a scar, now a shot eye.
Neverwinter is the city that keeps getting fucked up on nights out.
It just
Keep
needs
going
another
like
one.
This. There's not gonna
over
be
here.
a place to put buildings.
Then
Daffy's.
it'll be a smiley
Yeah.
face.
Goodness, if that's its eye, now it's Pac-Man. It's very
You've got
close to
that.
Pac-Man.
And a nose. You got a smiley face.
Oh no.
Don't do more damage to the city. More either emotionally or physically.
Right, supposedly, did you want to check out your home, or should we find something different?
No.
there? Or...
It doesn't matter.
You could definitely get to it
Are
before
you sure?
it's too.
It doesn't matter. What? I'm.
Maybe we should just find
Are
a
you-
tavern
are
then,
you
before
sure you
all the civilians.
Do you have a family at your house?
It's just me.
This
I
is the
believe,
DP.
considering
Roll-
the state
roll
of the
damage.
city, a tavern might be a bit out of the question.
Just any house. that
Let's just
doesn't
find
seem
somewhere.
used.
I'd look for a suitable area for us to rest
Make
for
an
the night.
investigation check.
I'll help look around for any suitable.
Okay. So that is going to be with advantage, Whittick.
That's a 5.
A lot of rubble.
Fuck.
If I wasn't freaking out, I would help you.
It's right. It's just one character's looking for things.
You guys spend your time looking. Roll a d100.
Wait, who's rolling a d100?
Whittick, actually, go on.
Go for it.
Wow.
How did
Wow.
you manage that? If that was a divine intervention, it would have succeeded.
If it is a divine intervention, we're set.
How did you roll a
It's
1
not.
on a
Nerwin!
D100?
Nerwin, what is it with you? And just like going, your D100, you just like start typing and it goes, oh, wait, it's time! Divine intervention! It's like, no game, not yet! It's not even a cleric, stop it!
Bet
For
you
those
didn't-
who don't
bet you
know,
didn't
by
do
the
that
way-
twice.
For those who don't know, by the way, Nerwin on Saturdays plays a cleric who has a very high divine intervention rate.
No, it's less that I have a very high divine intervention rate. I have a very good chance with D100s.
Yeah, Nerin historically.
Or a very bad chance with
He does. No, he does
depending on how
very
you.
well. Whenever he's rolled D100 for like loot, Nerin always gets something good.
Like, oh hey, I'm joining this campaign.
Hey, is that applicable
and here
now?
you get
Well, I think we're about to find out.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
So, you guys make your way around, and you're like looking for something, and Whittick, you're like, oh look, there's a portion of a house that might be good, it's got a bit of a cover over it, and you just see rubble moving, as there's a giant that was slammed into this house. And pulls himself up, and you just see like this stone giant who's just stumbling as they get up, just like falls for a moment and just grabs something to catch it. Like the molten face side of Torun.
Oh, darn it.
Oh,
Son, safe.
oh boy.
The panic in the group chat can end.
Where's my
Mickey and Blue have been exchanging panicked gifts.
We're like, where's our boy? I adopted
He
this
just, like,
son
looks-
3 years ago, and I don't want to give him back.
No refunds. You just look about as he's just there. It's just water just pouring down the side of his face. This like kind of muddied blood, kind of like ichor pouring from the side. He's just like being trying to refocus his face. What happened? He's speaking common, by the way.
Everyone was attacked.
I was aware of that. Last thing I remember, a very large dragon threw me into the side of a building.
There was dragons. They've gone. If that's any help, so you can.
Where is Sarisa or Hashnag? Where are they?
Hashnag's over there.
It's that way.
Yeah.
You're maybe like 20, 30 odd feet away from where Harshnag was, by the way. He looks over. Hey, towards the north side then, okay.
I think he's been drinking. Yeah, so.
Sounds about right. That means at least that things aren't horrible, because if it was horrible, he'd cut his beard off. Okay. Wait. Are you all okay? Is there anything wrong with you? Do you need help at all?
We just want to find somewhere where we can rest. I don't know if you know anywhere.
He just really puts his hand back on the building that he crushed, and you just see like stone just erupting up on the sides and forming up above it as he makes a small 15 by 20 foot wide little enclosure within it. Well, that should do.
Yeah, should do.
Please excuse me. I'm going to get a damage update. Oh, my wife's gonna kill me. She just begins moving off.
The girls perk up.
What? Like, our son got married without knowledge?
I was not informed of this!
You weren't in control of
Ask our approval.
He got glory and Kirok's blessing. He didn't get your blessing as players. They got their blessings.
He should have.
We should have known it.
They were definitely at the wedding.
So this is where I now have to ask the question, was Kika old enough to go to the wedding, or did the wedding happen before she was born?
Funnily enough, the wedding's only 2 years ago.
Oh, Kika was an actual baby!
She was probably there.
She was probably about this big!
She was there.
She was tiny!
They got married in a very large,
In the room. In the
they-
destruction.
Because
In a very
you
large church.
know him, you have like a vague idea of him, and he mentioned his wife. You immediately had the thing of he got married in a place with a lot of fire and iron.
It was very warm.
Power couple.
I mean, I did already describe in like the session before, and that he has a ring that is made of molten magma that is just swirling constantly.
Glory probably
Is that
cried.
why he's got the burn on his face?
No, that was from when that's from when he saved Cinderhild from Zalto, and he smashed his head.
Oh shit.
That's my son.
When you're supposed to say yes, that's why you get a big fire slap to the face. I do.
There's nothing like a romantic evening than murdering your abusive son.
Okay.
Back in the
Blessing!
Anyway,
Fuck you.
Well, this looks like a good enough place to rest.
And it's just he just steps out, and he just begins looking up and about, and you just hear, oh, God. It just runs off in one direction, away from where Harsh.
Our new stepdaughter might be hurt.
And
My new stepdaughter!
This is a joke, but it's also not a joke.
it's daughter-in-law.
Don't worry, words. Alright.
you just hear like
Right now.
stone and rubble moving.
We're going through a lot.
You just hear stone and rubble moving. You just hear my queen. And pulling her, like you see like maybe 3 or 4 buildings away, the rubble's collapsed in. A very bloodied, but somehow still alive, Queen said, whose maul is fucking crimson.
That seems like Teresa.
None of it's hers, but it's all crimson.
I am going to sit in the corner.
Sit in the
There is
corner
too
of your
much
box.
happening!
I'm gonna try and start clearing some of the rubble out of the inside of the structure and
Yeah, you just like
making it habitable.
cloak with it. You kind of like just drag it out and just like kick off the dust and out of the way with it. The maids give you an assistance from. And Posey does that.
Food. Has anyone got any food?
I pull rations out of my bag. Food. Who needs it?
I
It's
also
got
have
snacks and plasters.
I mean,
Like I said,
I don't need it myself, so it's just like, you want food?
Riddick
I have
always
food.
has an emergency care kit with him.
I'll start a little campfire in the middle of the room.
Karik, seeing you're just like a little bit distressed. He goes, "Hey, remember the time we like scraped our knees really, really badly, but when it came up and he just had a bunch of plasters? You remember the ones that had the silly little bird eggs and just like a little baby poking their
pull
head
one
out?
out.
It's exactly
it on-
that. It's just like a. You
And
just
I
put it on his
on
beak.
like a wound on his head.
You just put it across his beak, like somebody who's like kid with the nose thing.
Broken then, I just
So, think, man. Okay, there you go.
The king and the maids will use their own ration.
I've got some extra rations if anyone needs anything. What? Posey,
I
you
could
hungry?
eat a
Or...
horse right now.
I'll give Posey a set of rations. That's all my rations. I had 2.
You just watch as Karik gets out a large, like a few portions of rations, like these kind of dried meats. And just like gets them out, like, okay, Kika, that's all yours. Okay, and he's one thing. If you travel with him, you will know he will do this every day. Is that Kika will get fed, and then he will get fed. But the thing is, she takes 1 or 2 portions. He takes 6.
He's a big boy. He's hungry.
So you all look more at Kiko. Okay.
Can't hear you.
Sit down. Look at Kika and Kyle.
Hang on a sec now. You're
Yes.
like coming to
Hello?
go. So
Hello?
yeah,
Hello?
we can hear you now.
Go
We
on.
can hear you now.
I was talking very quietly.
Ah.
Do you know all these people, giants and
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is all very weird.
As you're all talking, by the way, Kika, you just feel like a heavy weight on your shoulder and like a top of your head as Karik is just falling asleep this to your side. He's gone. He's just entirely gone. He's fucking tired.
She just snuggles up with him.
Before anyone else goes to sleep, King's going to take that coin she had that was giving her the skies from Posey and say,
Oh no, you got that from Puff.
"Puff, sorry,
Yeah,
I didn't mean Posey. Sorry." the other plane of being. She says, "I don't think this will cause a panic anymore, so I think it's time to lose the disguise."
Big reveal.
You can post it in chat if you want.
I'm happy
Post
to
it.
just...
Because you have your do you still have the icon? Because I'm not on my primary. I don't have that icon. Because if you can just message it to me, I'll swap it out for your real one.
Yeah, it's alright, I can do it.
I think you should change it on his character sheet so we can see it on there.
Also, Wittig is going to sit by the door and enter sentry mode.
Bastion.
It's there. Let's have a look. Oh, that's dope.
Let's have a look see.
Oh,
They're super fucking dope.
dude!
Get that up for the stream.
Yo! Is that the right
She's-
image?
She is the
That
right.
is the right image. You guys
She's-
watch as she just says this and just leaves the coin down, and as she does, you can just see the blackened hair that goes down to about half her back height. These beautifully designed garments and armaments, to one shoulder, but to the other side, from her jaw down, you can see pulsating green tissue and muscle, and very thin muscle all the way down her neck, almost like it was a mark in halves down all the way, and you guys just look, and it keeps going all the way down, like her hip, leg, everything. Her rib cage is exposed. You can see a very slow, still beating heart.
At 20 beats per minute.
You're so beautiful.
Okay. Is that? Are you okay there?
Her emotionless eyes just sort of looking around the room as she'll sort of take that in. She's 5 foot tall, and it can be hard to tell with the hair, but at the back of the head more easy to see that she is in fact an elf, as the pointy ears are poking out from behind. But yeah, and as you can see, besides that little bit of flesh you can see, and some of the working arm, there isn't, yeah, as Dash said earlier, she is not showing nearly as much skin as...
Significantly less skin.
Yep.
That's
And
quite shocking.
she says, yes, I am quite fine.
Okay. Not gonna say it's not a little weird, but if you're okay, then I guess that's okay.
How is it weird?
You can see her heart, and it's green.
Oh, yes, I suppose.
I didn't learn a lot when I was growing up, but I think I learned that much. That it's
Just
not
like as you guys are all like loudly talking, so Kara kind of like just stirs and just looks up and goes, fourth weirdest thing today. He just like leans his head back down.
Okay.
Doesn't that hurt?
Not at all. It is a interesting bit of biology going on. If you are interested to look, you can. You'll see that my innards have sort of reconnected themselves in shorter fashions to allow everything to function as it should.
Your innards have become your outards.
That's incredible.
God damn it. It's my line.
Too late, I've sold it.
The only considered restriction, I suspect, is that my left arm, I can only really move it at the shoulder. You still see the iron rod bound to a skeletal hand, as there is no muscle beyond the shoulder.
Quite inconvenient.
Well, that's okay.
Not really. As a wizard myself, I would mostly be holding an arcane focus.
Oh, you're a spellcaster.
Is
That's
it why you have so many servants to help you out? Because you got the one arm? Or?
I mean, yes, they are my servants by choice.
One of the triplets speaks up. We will follow her wherever she goes. We are with her no matter what. And they do like, take like a form to her side, very much so like Padme's maidens kind of thing of ready to fucking throw down, bitch. But simultaneously, I'm in a regal pose. She's like, I'm in a regal pose, but I'll break your. Very protective.
Okay. Well, yeah, as long as you're okay. Quite shocking, but yeah.
I don't know all the particulars about it, but I did meet a healer when this first happened who suggested that, although strange, I am indeed still humanoid. I am not of the
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Although
Not
admittedly,
weird,
it is a somewhat necrotic energy that goes through me. But to my understanding, that could be said the same as resurrections. So it's all
Yes.
much of a much.
Yeah, of course, of course.
To be honest, I'm actually freaked out, Mainly because my master was Roman numeran,
I'm
and
And you're a robot!
And you saw some
Yeah.
shit.
eh,
I have seen some things.
I have seen things that I should never have seen.
Kika sort of
Look.
looks into the middle distance and she goes, yeah, one time he showed me Wittick's power core. Wittick was still active at the time. It was memorable.
Felt so naked.
That sounds weird.
Dream about that tonight.
Unpleasant. Very unpleasant.
Perhaps one day I'll share the story about how all this came to be, but for now I think we need our sleep.
You do.
Oh, right, yeah.
Well, you do anyway.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go.
Characters just like,
over there.
you're all new friends and that's great, but we all need to just lie down and not speak for about 8 hours before I make somebody not wake up. Because I need sleep, please.
Okay, let's let him sleep.
I'm gonna curl up in the corner.
I'm gonna go sit next to the fire with my diary out and start writing, just like looking in the fire for a little bit, writing a bit, and then eventually I'll doze off.
And there's a moment as you begin falling asleep, Kika, that you just feel him shift, and you just like lie into him and just like over you, just entirely wet feathers are just over you entirely, wings are out, just boop, warm the baby.
I just come over with my blanket, throw it on top of the two of them. That's
He
good.
gives you a nod of like, good man.
I'm an elf, so I spend my 4 hours meditating, but beyond that I just sort of sit there with that dead stare, just watching over everybody.
Your 3 maids lie in a cuddle pile, just like they're all in a cuddle pile together.
The mage is human, right?
Yep,
Well,
all the
they-
maids are human.
Gotcha.
They actually are triplets, there's no disguise or magic there.
Oh, I wouldn't know that.
I will say,
Because you're asleep.
She would share that information, but yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
I would say most likely that me and King are having a staring contest because
I
we
was
are in
gonna say.
Yeah, it's very clear when you're looking at her, especially without the disguise, that her face muscle, although she only described her arm as being sort of not working terribly well, it looks like her face doesn't really do emotions very well.
There's only like, you can only get like half the real face emotion, and even then you can only get a portion of that again. It's the only real equivalent is like somebody who's had something like cerebral palsy in the regards of like the face doesn't move much.
Yeah.
It's very like stiff motions, like talks perfectly fine. Seems to be perfectly fine. There is nothing wrong with them. It's just something unique about them.
Yeah.
Just, she's very unique.
Yeah.
And staring contest.
She's pretty.
Out of character. She really is.
So
She's fucking gorgeous. Yeah, I know, right? yeah.
I like
that
how you all
motherfucker
think
dropped
she's
that.
pretty. Dad said the same
Yeah.
thing. It's like a lot of people. I think
First
a
thing
lot of
Posey
people
said.
agree- I think a lot of people would agree she could use some more meat on her bones, but you know, apparently that's what
Oh
you're
yeah. Oh, by the way, guys,
I'm more
guys,
intrigued.
I'm not
I'm
gonna
more
lie.
intrigued than anything. Not funny,
I'm gonna
beautiful. I'm intrigued.
I'm gonna say this:
That's what
go
you
back
are.
to the other 2 sessions and just listen back to them again, and just like all the fucking meat in her bones. Well, she's not showing as much skin as Posey. All these things he does throughout it. It's like I'm just sitting in the corner going,
They're terrible jokes and you should be ashamed.
Yeah, really.
She's only a 5'4" elf, and as you can imagine, she's fairly light. Since you know, if you look
6
inside, she's only got like
Oh my
half of
God.
her intestines.
I've only just clocked this. We finally found an elf skinnier than Delmara.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Only by literally losing her flesh.
And several parts of organs.
Yeah,
Yeah, a few
purely,
organs.
it's purely
Maybe the-
somatic at that point. It's just like,
God,
technically.
Ooh.
So yes, I am very light.
Core, thank you for the 100.
Cole gave me some bits. Thank you, Cole.
No idea what they are.
I was gonna do it to be number 1, you piece of shit. I'm gonna take a second.
Yay, bits! Mwah.
I had 1 ad bit left. I was like, aha, I could take the number 1 position and then core. Anyway.
Yes, fight for my honor.
Oh, also, if anybody looks at Wiki, it has Vermin, Nomer, and Pop Doll.
Oh my god.
Ah,
I didn't come here to feel things.
I didn't come in for emotions. Fuck that.
I came here to kill shit! God damn it!
Yeah, because I'm good at that.
Are you kidding? All I bought was emotions.
I brought stones, if that helps.
I bought some PMA.
Or anxiety.
Hey.
I got PTSD!
Yay! Right, anyway, back in the room. Back in the room.
Yeah, anyway, we all get a long rest, I tell.
Give us the long rest.
After today, I'm not going to drag anyone to sleep. We'll say everybody gets their nice long rest.
Long rest.
Oh,
Long
God.
rest.
Yeah.
Should I roll? Should I
And
roll
everyone
for
is
mine?
now level 3.
Yes!
And as you wake up in the morning,
You didn't like PTD.
that will be where your begins next week.
Yay!
Yay!
Damn it!
You can,
Level
you
3
can
already,
prepare
damn.
your character's 3rd level now. You can level up now, but just be aware. I mean, to be fair, that fight that you had with the Gits was probably a bit too high. And
Cool, stop.
Cool, stop! Corbin,
Jeez.
we're literally about to finish. You can stop.
Roll in that hit dice.
Thank you so much.
Fuck you, I'm gonna be the first
Fuck
sub.
you, Core.
Cole's gonna
He sent me a message that just said, "Hey, girls," and then I looked up and I was like, "You piece of shit."
Cole's got a super shiny gold medal. No, thank you guys. Don't have to be giving me bits.
You're right, we don't have to give you bits.
I don't even
Yeah,
know
which
what
is why I'm not
bits are.
doing it.
But if you've got that free Amazon Prime subscription, that don't cost you anything.
Oh,
so
no.
feel free to hit that subscribe button.
She's a real streamer now.
She's gonna start. Oh.
Remember to like, comment, and
Smash
subscribe.
that subscribe. Hit the follow.
Ring the
Thank you,
bell,
Nerd.
all the things.
I pay for all my other ones, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna get mine on August the 30th, and then I'll give you.
I am partially joking, guys. It's fine.
No, she's not. You're giving
what
her
you
Twitch
want.
Prime subs. Do it.
Do what you want. But
Do
yeah,
You're an agent of your own free will.
you can do what you want. You don't feel obligated to subscribe, especially since we won't be having a session next week because I'm going to be on holiday.
So you can do what you want, but fucking do it.
We'll come for you.
So we're going to see you in 2 weeks for the next session.
It'll be 2 weeks.
Yeah.
There will not be a session next week.
Yeah.
But we're
Yeah,
guys
we'll be-
going to be level 3.
Long rest is taking 2 weeks.
Third level.
We need
To be fair, after that week,
Yeah. Well, unless anybody's multiclassing, everybody should have their class archetypes. Because level 3, so that's awesome.
I had that 2 levels ago. Huh.
I had
Oh,
like
that's clever.
Cleric,
Clever,
you
clever,
fucking
clever.
nerd.
Silent
it says-
cleric.
gone.
Everyone, roll them hit dice.
Oh shit.
Okay, well, since we're now gonna... everybody's now gonna
I know,
spend the
Curls,
next
you
hour-
messaged me the first thing, and I'm like, I'm aware. And then you're like, oh, wait, you didn't realize that it's going to be that. Okay.
Nice.
I'm going to grab your little warlock ass like, man, bitch. Ree."
Oh, Roman, do I overtake you now? Roman Wittick. Different character.
We're all going to be doing our character level ups for the next hour, so I'm gonna end the stream here.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody who tuned in.
Thanks for coming.
We love you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you for watching our first affiliate stream, which is awesome.
Thanks to everyone that came back from last week.
Yes, thank you,
Thank
Gab,
you so
much, and hope
It's
that
bottom
we
of our hearts.
continue to see you guys in the future. If you missed anything, you can watch the VOD on YouTube. There is a link down below. And we shall see you in 2 weeks. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Mwah.
Bye-bye, my dearies.
Bye-bye.